Hello students, welcome to my second video of improvement in food resources, where we are going to discuss further for improving the crop production and yield and much more. So you all know that money and the financial condition decides allows the farmer to take up farming practices and agricultural technologies because there is a direct correlation between higher inputs and yields. So if higher input is given by the farmer, it decides the cropping patterns for them and also the production practices. So production practices can be of three types. There is no cost production, there is low cost production, and there is high cost production. So in this video, we are going to start with the same. So the topics that we are going to cover include the crop production management, where we are going to start with the nutrient management with respect to manures. Okay, then we are going to move on to fertilizers, and the second point of the crop production management include irrigation. So let's start. So nutrients are of two types. There are organic substances and inorganic substances which are required for the proper growth of the plant, proper yield of the crop, and it is also very important for improving the structure of the soil, fertility, and prevent soil erosion. So nutrient management is not only important for the proper growth of the plant, but also for improving the biotic characteristics of the soil, like it helps in healthy growth of the microorganisms in the soil. So among the organic substances we have organic substances. They all contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and also nitrogen is there. So among the organic substances, we have these organic acids, we have these vitamins like vitamin A, B, C, D, E, K, and carotenoids. Carotenoids is a type of pigment. It is a protein pigment, and it basically gives red and yellow color to the fruits and vegetables, and it is also responsible for the proper growth of the plants. So among the organic substances, like there should be appropriate amount of sugars, amino acids, fatty acids, etc., along with vitamins, so that the proper amount of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen can be supplied to the plants. Then among the inorganic substances, we have minerals. There are mineral ions. Some mineral ions, they are required in larger amounts, so are they are classified as macronutrients. Some are required in smaller amounts, so they are classified as micronutrients. Among the macronutrients, we have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, uh, is there nitrogen, potassium, etc. And among the micronutrients, we have copper, zinc, molybdenum, etc. Okay. Now, in the nutrient management, first of all, we are going to discuss the organic matter, which is supplied to the plants, which is mixed in the soil and supplied to the plants in the form of manure. So, manure is a very important substance. When it is mixed in the soil, it is not only helping in higher yield of the plants, proper growth of the plants, but it is also improving the soil quality. It is improving the soil texture. It is improving the soil quality. So first of all, it is making the soil fertile. Second of all, it is in when I say that it is improving the texture of the soil, it means that it is improving the water holding capacity of the soil. So suppose if there is a clayey soil, if you put water into it, it will become waterlogged. So when you mix manure into it, it improves the water holding capacity of the soil, and it reduces the water logging of the clayey soil. Okay. So it also, when we mix manure into the soil, it also prevents soil erosion, because the soil, it becomes uh, the top soil, basically it is rich in nutrients, and because the water holding capacity has improved, so the rainwater will not take away the top layer of the soil easily. Okay. So we will begin in manuring. We will begin with compost. Here in the compost, we use livestock excreta like cow dung, vegetable waste, animal refuse, domestic waste is used, sewage waste is used, eradicated weeds, etc. These things are used and they are decomposed. After some time, we can dig a large pit, put all these things into it, wait for some days, like 1 month or 45 days or so. After 45 days, if we open that pit, we have to completely close that pit also. So after 45 days or so, if we open that pit, everything will be decomposed, and what we will have is the compost. Okay. There is another branch of composting, that is vermicomposting. In vermicompost, we use earthworms and red worms can also be used. That helps in the decomposition of the organic waste that we used in the composting process. Okay, so vermicompost is the same thing, but here we are just adding the worms to enhance the decomposition process of the organic waste. Let's move on to the green manure. Green manure is the the production of manure with the help of crop seeds, some plants like sun, hemp, or guar. So suppose if in that particular soil the crops are supposed to be grown, so before the crops are grown, these plants like sun, hemp, and guar, they are grown, and after that they are mulched, and they are allowed to decompose in that same soil. So after the decomposition process, this manure will get mixed with the soil, which will improve the soil quality and soil texture. And this process is actually known as green manure, where we are only using green plants, you can say. Okay, so there is nothing like kitchen waste or animal excreta. Here only the plant matter is used. So when the plant matter is used and it is mixed in soil, the decomposition process is allowed to happen naturally. And after that, when the nutrient quality of the soil has improved, the real crops are grown by the farmers. So this way green manuring is done. Now, next thing is to improve the soil quality is by using fertilizers. Fertilizers is an artificial way. It is not, we are not using any natural things for the production of fertilizers, for the usage of the fertilizers. And fertilizer hold a very important role with respect to the green revolution in our country. With the use of fertilizers and pesticides, the high yielding varieties, the high yielding crops were the production of high yielding varieties was increased in the fields of the poor farmers, as we discussed this in the previous video. So fertilizers are basically chemical. chemical fertilizers. We are talking about chemical fertilizers, and the most important elements that the fertilizers helps in delivering to the soil include nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. So fertilizers, if they are applied carefully in terms of proper dose, time, and observing pre and post application precautions for the complete utilization, they will give the best results. The best results, to obtain best results, optimum crop production, uh, we need to keep these points in mind. And it should not be thought that manuring is not important, only fertilizers will do their work. There should be a balance between both of them, and there should be a high usage, more usage of manure, and less usage of fertilizer, to keep a balance between the crop production, okay, higher yield, and also keeping the soil quality in mind. Okay, so these are the three elements which are supplied by the chemical fertilizers. And next thing includes organic farming. So in organic farming, there is no usage of chemical fertilizers or pesticides to increase the crop production. So here we are using organic manures, recycled farm waste like straw and livestock excreta. Bioagents are used like culture of blue green algae in the preparation of biofertilizers. The fertilizers which are used by the which are produced by the microorganism are known as biofertilizers. Neem leaves or turmeric, are specifically in grain storage. They will act as natural antibiotics, so they are regarded as biopesticides. And there are also healthy cropping system, which we are going to discuss in the next video, like there is multiple cropping, etc. So organic farming does not use any uh, chemical fertilizers or pesticides. Now, the second point comes with respect to irrigation. So irrigation is supplying the proper amount of water to the crops. This is also very important. After nutrients, proper water should also be there, so that water, when all the nutrients, macro and micro both, when they are mixed in water in the solution form, it increases the absorption capacity of the roots of the for the minerals. So if water is not there, we cannot expect the minerals to just go miraculously into the roots. The roots are absorbing water, and along with water they are also absorbing the mineral ions. So irrigation therefore is very important for crop production and management. So in irrigation, basically our country, the agriculture is rain fed. Our country, here the crop production only depends upon the monsoon. So there are many climatic variations in the country, and now with the global warming and the greenhouse effect, the pattern of monsoon has completely changed. And every year we see in the news and everywhere there is a big noise over the monsoon and how it is affecting the lives of farmers. To curb that, to reduce the harmful effects of no monsoon in different states, the government and even the local authorities, they are helping the farmers to improve the irrigation systems in the villages. Okay, so for that, first we are going to start with wells. uh, so there are two types of wells: dug wells and tube wells. So here I have a picture of a dug well. So dug well is, they are dug to take the water from the strata, okay, which contain the water. Okay, but the tube wells, they are different kind of wells, because here first of all we are using the pumps to draw water, to lift water from the lower stratas, lower stratas of water. Okay, so here this picture shows the tube well, where this pipe, it is bringing the groundwater through the pump. Next are canals. uh, Canals are bringing water from, they are either connected to a nearby river. So canals are basically, they are formed in fields or in farms which are closer to river, or the water can also be drawn directly from a storage reservoir. So these canals have these branch canals, and the branch canals can have distributaries also, where the water is directly coming from the river or the reservoir. Okay, this is one such irrigation system. The next type of irrigation system are the river lift system. So in river lift system, the water is directly lifted from the rivers. So this one also is good if the farm is, located nearer to the river. So directly the water can be lifted from the river. Okay, water is lifted directly from the river. One advantage here of river lift system is that, uh, if the farm is located near to the river, then it will be very easier to cultivate crops in that particular field. Let's move on to tanks. Tanks are nothing but storage reservoirs, and they can store rainwater. They can also store water from any nearby resource, like a river or a lake. Okay. The new age system includes sprinklers. You must have seen in sprinklers in, the gardens, which are present in the buildings, in the schools, offices, etc. These sprinklers are very helpful because they are just like rain. Okay, drop by drop they are supplying the water, and at one time you can put many sprinklers, and they can supply water directly to the, they are putting water directly on the crops, directly on the plants, and it is just like rain. So it is advantageous to other systems where a lot of water, can be wasted, and if a lot of water goes into the soil becomes waterlogged. We do not want that. With the sprinklers, there will be no problem of water logging. So this is advantageous. We do not want to waste water, and we do not want to uh, reduce the quality of soil also. Just like sprinklers, there is another system which is known as drip irrigation system. So in the picture I have shown this, like a pipe, it is going over the plants, and this pipe is basically uh, sending water drop by drop directly to the roots of the plants. So here there is no problem of water logging, there is no water wastage also, and it is one of the most effective method of irrigation in India. So water is sent drop by drop to the roots directly of the plants. Okay, this is drip irrigation system. So I have a little story of Ramesh Baria from a small district in Madhya Pradesh, Jhabua. He bought used glucose plastic bottles for 20 per kg, and he cut the upper half of the bottle to create an inlet for water and attached it to the bottom of the other half. Then he hung these filled bottles near the plants, and with the regulator meant for IV. Uh, you must have seen this in the saline bottles. And he regulated a steady flow of water drip by drip. And because of this, he managed to earn a profit of 15,200 from a point 0.1 hectare land. And this technique actually helped him to save plants from drought. Because there was, like I said, monsoon patterns are changing. A lot of areas which depend, lot of farmers which depend on monsoon for their crop production, they are at loss because of no rain. So reuse the reuse the glucose plastic bottles, which would have taken several years to decompose, and it also prevented wastage of water. So he is recycling, and he is also preventing the wastage of water. For adopting the irrigation method, Ramesh Baria was also awarded a certificate of appreciation from the district administration and Minister of Agriculture of Madhya Pradesh. So this is the picture which shows how he actually did this in one of his farms. So these are the glucose bottles, and he connected the IV directly to the plants where the water was dropping drip by drip into the roots of the plants directly. So this is the story of Ramesh Baria. Let's move on to the small check dams. These small check dams, which you can see in the water, I mean in the pictures, these small check dams, they are actually built in areas, so that rainwater can be saved. Rainwater does not run off, and it can prevent soil erosion also. So it is just there to prevent the runoff of the rainwater, which can be also, a cause of flooding. So they are preventing that also. Okay. Now, I have a small video for you where vermicomposting is explained. So you have to have a lot of patience to watch this, but it is a very interesting video. So let's start. I'll just do one thing. I have to share the computer sound. Okay. So yes, I have shared the computer sound. So, guys, on this note, let's move on to the questions. So, the first question is about vermicomposting, and you have to name the organism used in vermicomposting. If specifically we have to name, then you already know that earthworms, and for informative purposes, I'm naming the second organism also, which can be used. The red worms can be used for vermicomposting. They are Earthworm is basically an annelid. It belongs to these category of animals which are segmented worms. So the name of the group is Annelida. The second question is about the fresh initiatives in the field of irrigation. So the fresh initiatives, there are two fresh initiatives in the field of irrigation. First is rainwater harvesting, and the second one is watershed management. So in the rainwater harvesting, the rain that falls on the roof of the houses is uh, taken to a reservoir where it is stored, and it is used for various purposes. For example, gardening, or it can also be used for car washing or many other purposes. So in this way, the water that is falling on the roofs of the houses or any other building like the schools, the offices, the colleges, etc., will not get wasted, and it is a very good way to save water. Another thing is a watershed. Watershed is actually a system where the land and area, land and water, they are bounded by a drainage that sends the water, the runoff, to a common point. So you can see that this is a land area, and it is bounded by a watershed divide. Here also, on the other side also, the watershed divide is there, and all the water that is falling on this watershed divide will fall into the river, this common point, and this common point of water source is then draining into the river mouth. So watershed basically is a very good way to save water, and it is also it also prevents soil erosion, because because due to run of uh, water, the top layer of the soil can get removed when heavy rain is there or flooding and things like this. So a watershed divide, if it is created, for example, I also showed you just few moments ago, uh, check dams, the small check dams. So these small check dams are also they are built to prevent the runoff from going into the wrong place, flooding the area, and also can reduce soil erosion. So you can understand watershed just like that. So you are making a drainage, and all the runoff will then move into, it will drain into a common point. The next question is about the two differences between macronutrients and micronutrients. So I'm going to make two columns, one for macronutrients and one for micronutrients. They are required in large quantities, and micronutrients are required in small quantities. The second difference can be of examples. So among the macronutrients, nitrogen is there, potassium, phosphorus, etc. And among the micronutrients, copper, zinc, molybdenum, etc. are included. Okay, so these are the two differences between macro and the micronutrients. In this question, we have to state two advantages of fertilizers over manure. So, fertilizers, you know many disadvantages of fertilizers over manure. Okay, you know what are fertilizers, you know what are manure. But what can be the advantages of fertilizers over the manure? First of all, fertilizers, they can be applied to, they can be easily applied to the plants. Applied to the crops. Okay, and second of all, fertilizers, they are used according to the specific needs of the crop. They are used according to the specific needs of crops. So, example, there are fertilizers which only provide nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to the plants. So these are known as NPK fertilizers. N is for nitrogen, P is for phosphorus, and K is for potassium. So these specific elements, they are only applied to the crops. This can only this is only possible with the fertilizers, not with the manure. Manure are providing a large range of organic substances which is mixed in soil, and it is not an easy process, but spraying the fertilizers is particularly easier than mixing manure in the soil. So these are the two advantages of fertilizers over manure. Next question is, why is organic matter important for crop production? So when we talk about organic matter is providing the important organic substances to the uh, crops. Basically, you can say soil also. And these organic substances are rich in not rich, but they are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen containing compound. So which is very important for the metabolism in the germinating plants. Second of all, organic matter can improve the quality of the soil. It can improve the fertility and water holding capacity of the soil. Okay, especially the clayey soil. Mixing organic matter in clayey soil is very advantageous, because I already have told you that clayey soil gets waterlogged very easily. So if you mix organic matter into it, the water holding capacity of the clayey soil will improve. That will reduce the waterlogging of this soil. The next question is, why is excess use of fertilizers detrimental to environment? Now this is a very direct question, well known, and a very important question, because the nowadays pollution is increasing detrimentally. So uh, you can write more points, but I'm going to focus only on two of the most important ones. Okay, fertilizers, first of all, they are poisonous to the animals like herbivores or human beings. Okay. And remember that we are talking about the excess use, not the use of fertilizers altogether, but the excessive use of fertilizers can be poisonous to the animals because we are consuming the plants. Second is it can lead to pollution, it can lead to water, soil, and land pollution. Okay, air pollution can also be included if if the fertilizers they are sprayed, the tiny little particles they can get suspended in the air also, and if they are inhaled by the animals, it can settle in the lungs and it can cause many respiratory diseases. Okay, so let's move on to defining vermicompost, green manure, and biofertilizers. So vermicompost, it is the process of composting by using worms, particularly earthworms, which hold on to the process of decomposition. Okay, so next we will define green manure here. Green manure, green manuring, it is the manure that is prepared by decomposing green plants. Okay, then lastly, biofertilizers. These are the fertilizers that are used, that are natural and used for increasing the crop yield. Okay, example neem is a natural biopesticide. No, sorry, it is a natural biopesticide. So we are going to remove neem and we are going to write green manure. Yes, this is a biofertilizer. Okay, so let's move on to stating the two advantages of manure and how is green manure differ from ordinary manure. So yes, so the two advantages first are of manure are first, it is uh, completely natural and non-poisonous to other living organisms. So we are not only talking about the animals, we are also talking about the bacteria present in the soil. Okay, it does not cause pollution. Okay, So I have just flipped the disadvantages of fertilizers here. So the green manure, how it is different from the ordinary manure. In the ordinary manure, we are decomposing not only the plants or the plant waste, agricultural waste. Okay, we are taking the kitchen waste, we are taking animal excreta most of all. Okay, animal excreta is taken in ordinary manure, whereas in green manure we are not taking any animal product. Okay, we are only taking agricultural waste. We are taking mostly the green plants and then decomposing it to manure. Okay, this is how green manure differ from ordinary manure. Okay, so in this question we have to arrange the statements in correct sequence of preparation of green manure. So first statement is green plants are decomposed in soil. Then green plants are cultivated for preparing manure to crop plants. Part are used. Uh, Plants are plowed and mixed into soil. After decomposition, it becomes green manure. So first, uh, green plants are cultivated for preparing manure to crop plants. Part are used. Second statement, okay. Then green plants are decomposed in soil. Okay. No. Then third statement. Okay. Plants are plowed and mixed into soil. Then green plants are decomposed in soil. First statement. And then lastly, after decomposition, it becomes green manure. Okay. So this I have arranged in correct sequence. Okay. So on this note, I'm going to end the video. I hope you liked it and most of all you understood it. If you have any questions, you can post them on the forum. I would be very happy to help, and stay tuned for the next video on this topic. Thank you.